Right. We're hearing a lot of your keyboard though.
Good.
Alright, let's join the chat channel.
Sure, you go join the chat channel, but
Oh yeah, you're not playing.
scared me. I thought I had to play at first. Fucking KJ was scaring me to death of not being here.
All right. So
Wait, why? Why would KJ?
what is it? Best of 7.
Because he
No,
wasn't
best of
answering.
5. Best of 3.
Best of 3.
Yeah.
Fuck, let's do 200 damage.
That seems really weird.
Oh, those arrows. Those arrows fucking sucked.
All right. So it's gonna be Invader first, and then Runes of Ceres, and then Runes of Endymion, Lerilac Crest, and Dust Towers.
If it's a best of 3, how is that possible?
You have 5 maps, so it's a best of 3. So if you win 3 games, it's done.
So it's a best of 5.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, best of 5 first to 3. Yeah, my bad.
All right, I was a little confused. I'm like, that's like the shortest format ever. I gave the link like 2 seconds ago.
Alright guys, so for people that just joined, we are casting Alpha Team League. It's gonna be new training ground versus PSISTM tonight. They will have clan wars every 2 or 3 days, and that's for the whole month of April. So it's gonna be a nice series.
Yeah, gonna see some new faces here.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a considerably higher level play than what we're used to. We're used to casting Master and mostly Diamond, so it'll be pretty cool.
Yep. Alright, so we are waiting for everything to get set up. And meanwhile, I'll put on some music.
Okay. Do you think we should put like text link to the actual event or like format or anything like that? Should we put like the format like best of 5, Alpha League, something like that on the main page or not?
I have the link for tonight, but I didn't put it up.
All right, I'm gonna ask if they can use base ray TV mod, extension mod for the game heart user face as well as some other stuff. But if they can't, they can't.
All right, I sent it into the chat, so that's the setup for tonight. You have all the maps and the matchup for each map. So to do a summary, it's gonna be Invader first, Warren versus RGV, and then Runes of Ceres, Freedom Nova X, Runes of Endian, Zergwave, and Imoino, Lyrilac Crest, Sugar, and Nightclone. And if it goes to Dust Tower, I think they have a choice for the ace. So it seems like it's gonna start soon.
Yeah, these are all well, at least the 3 of them are GMs for PSISTM.
Yeah.
And then Freedom, it looks like it's just Master.
All right, so Sugar is hosting. Why are we hearing your keyboard so much?
Alright, I won't type.
No, but I mean, usually we don't hear it, so I'm just wondering.
My other headset was making too much static, or white noise, you said?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sound like he's gonna host. It looks like it's gonna be RJV.
Yeah, I think like he said he was going to host, but RGV started. All right, so first map. It's gonna start really soon. It seems gonna be a TVZ.
Yeah, Warren's been around the scene for a little bit.
Mhm.
A lot of people know him. He's not on the actual PSISTM gaming team, I don't believe. I think he's on the academy team, which is pretty good grandmasters, but not pro gaming level. So
Mhm.
he's just below that threshold there. But actually, a funny story about that. I played him like a month ago. He was off racing his Protoss, and I actually beat him. But it wasn't as his main race, so it didn't really count. But
Yeah.
it's still funny.
Yeah, it's fun. And you showed me the replay. He's a pretty chill guy.
Yeah.
It seems so, at least. All right, so Warren is ready. All right, JV is ready too. The game's gonna start.
How did the map picks go?
I'm not sure about the format and how it does go. I think the map are picked randomly, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's kind of strange they're doing Lyrilac Crest.
Hmm. They kept Rune of Ceres also. So it's kind of mix of the new maps and the old maps, but they remove like some of the map that player didn't like.
Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty weird. But I mean, they also have some new maps too, so it'll be an interesting mix of old maps, new maps, everything like that. So, you guys, we're gonna jump into our first game here in this best of 5. against PSISTM Gaming and Noob Training Grounds. So spawning on the top right in the pink, representing PSISTM, the Zerg player Warren.
And spawning on the bottom right, the green Terran representing New Training Ground IJV.
Very interesting opening we got here. We got a pull gas before hatchery.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Warren wants to get some speedlings across the map, maybe evade the Reaper, and get a cancel on the building CC. So we'll see if RJ decides to go in the low ground or play it safe and go in the high ground. But the meta certainly says it's most likely to go in the low ground here, so the SCV will be critical here in spotting this.
Mm-hmm.
His first cue will be whenever he sees that hatchery and the timing on that. Knowing that the health is too low, that there's probably an early pull.
Yeah, exactly. And he won't go up the ramp also. So the first Reaper is making right now, and Sixlings are making for Warren. He's seeing the pull already, so he should react accordingly.
Yeah, I hope he's going to drop down the low ground anyways. Got Sixlings out here already. Speed's on the way, and he decides to pull off gas. Just to get that mineral income up a little bit higher. Not going to go directly into banelings off of this necessarily, so.
So that opener usually is used only to delay the CC, and if he can do some damage or harassment, it's even better. But
yeah, kind of interesting to see the Reaper out on the map like this.
mm-hmm.
Don't know if it registered in RJ's head that this was coming, because on the low ground that's kind of unusual, but then to follow up with a Reaper and send it across the map is a little bit weird too.
Yeah, so
yeah, he didn't. I don't think he knew, because he sent his Marine out, and that's definitely not what you want to be doing. That's definitely going to be canceled here. The reactor is going to be built on the barracks too, so that's even going to slow down Marine production for a little bit longer.
So Warren didn't lose any lings. He did cancel the CC. We'll move up the ramp here. That Reaper can do only a little bit of damage, but actually canceling the CC is pretty big for Warren here.
2 SCVs so far as well. Yeah, he didn't actually go into any more lings. He didn't commit super hard. He pulled off a gas. So it wasn't a huge economic loss for Zerg. I mean, it certainly sacrificed some economy, but the way Terran is looking right now, it looks like he's already put himself in a hole.
Yeah, and even
big hole.
And even losing the Reaper.
Yeah, he's gonna have to force repair on this, and he only has 2 Marines out right now.
Mm-hmm. He should be okay for now. Like the tank's gonna be out pretty soon. But behind it, Warren is mining a lot. He's droning up, and he will have the better economy.
Yeah, we should see what the next building is going to be down here for Terran. Whether it's going to be a starport, second barracks, something like that. Or if he's feeling really cheeky, he can add another CC. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Usually Terrans on this map, I feel like they go for 2 base timings. So the third CC is kind of rare to see.
Yeah.
But likewise, Zerg is not going for an expansion himself just yet. So with the layer being up and the Spire coming down, it looks like he's trying to do a 2-base mutaplay, which I know you and I are big proponents of in ZVT. So
yeah,
I think this will have pretty good success here. He's got 4 gas going. He hasn't committed into any more bases here, so he's not too vulnerable.
And he does have vision with that Overlord there, so he sees the army of RG. So he should know like if he can go straight to the main or not.
Yeah, he's also gonna have drop down a Baneling Nest, hinting towards that Ling Bane Muta composition to follow up the Spire there. So let's see if an Engineering Bay will be dropped down for RJ. It looks like Medevac's going to be his choice here. Some Terrans usually go, Liberator to get some harassment done.
Yeah.
Liberators, I would feel, are definitely more useful against 2-base Muta here as opposed to a Medevac, but It looks like he's going to be in a tough spot. Tanks aren't really going to do anything, and the engineering bay is halfway done, so he needs to put down turrets relatively soon here.
Yeah, and especially with that high tank count, mutas are going to be pretty great to deny those. RG is going to move out with a mini tank here, and Warren did put down his third base. But mutas are on the way, 7 mutas, so the harassment of RG shouldn't do too much here.
Yep. I'm surprised to see what Warren's decision is here. Like, if he goes straight for that medevac with tank, which will be a huge pickup, or he decides to hide it for even longer, he's going to send it straight for the medevac here. That's a good call. It's certainly going to die there. But one thing you can do against Terran is try to avoid scouting altogether and kind of hit them in their mineral lines whenever they don't have turrets up.
Yeah.
But that third base finished for Warren. He's going to start droning that up. Here he's got 7 drones on the way, more Mutalisks on the way. Tank and medevac go down. And Mutalisks are going to go head to the Terran's base right now.
But the turrets are done for IG, so at least his Mirrorline are okay.
Well, this turret building is going to be a big pickup here. He's going to be able to harass the production pretty good. A couple more seconds and that would have been late, so good pickup there already. Now this doesn't have to do big damage. Basically what you want to do with 2-base Muta is safely expand at home while keeping Terran at home. So the Mutas aren't supposed to do game-ending damage. They're supposed to stress the multitasking of Terran, keep him at his base, and kind of pick up advantages in small doses rather than a game-ending move there. So
yeah, and that's exactly what Warren's doing. His third is going to be saturated pretty soon. When those 5
he even got that cancel on the
drones.
third CC. That's the second CC canceled in this game, and we're already 7 minutes in here, so that's pretty dang good for their Warren. So fourth base is going to be dropped down. Double upgrades are a little bit late, but still going to be decent here for Zerg.
Yeah, and his army count should go up pretty quickly once.
Yeah, man, like.
Yeah, 18 lings in production. All the
Tanks
upgrades.
already got taken out too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not looking good here for RJ. Basically, economy-wise, 67 workers to 44. Soon to be 4 base that with gold. Great creep spread here. And Terran doesn't really know anything. He's kind of just hidden away in his base. And with that third CC and lack of production buildings altogether, like he's not going to have like the damage like soon that's going to be able to end the game. The third CC without the production kind of like lends itself to a longer game.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what Zerg wants here. So.
And even landing that third CC is going to be hard because he will have to fly the whole way around. And Warren does have a sizable amount of mutas.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a little bit of a hike. I mean, vertical spawns isn't as far as horizontal spawns on this map, but it's still quite a trek. And if half of your trip there is going to be on creep, that's going to be really difficult here.
Yeah. And Warren is moving to put a little bit of pressure, getting that bunker and reinforcing with more lings.
Yeah, army supply right now is in favor of Warren. So he's up like 30 workers as well as like 6 supply in army. So I really don't see RJ really being able to do any damage here.
No, especially with that amount of baneling that Warren does have. It's going to be really hard for RG. Especially on creep.
Yeah, the on creep part's just so bad. Speed banes are like almost impossible to split whenever you're being surrounded like this.
And here RG takes a big hit. His whole army is down.
Yeah, that was a little bit one-sided there, just because of the result of the, I guess, increased damage that was done all game by Warren. But total resources lost was 4,300 to 1,600 that game. So that kind of tells it all.
Yeah, and especially getting that cancel on the CC for like yeah, so he delayed the CC for quite a while, getting the cancel on the third CC, and that third CC could never get landed.
Yeah. Alright guys, so Sidestorm's Warren takes the first map here in this best of 5, and xNtG is going to be sending out their next player. What map is it going to be again?
The second map is going to be Rune of Ceres, is going to be Freedom versus Nova X.
Okay. So this is Pro League style. Usually what we see is like the winner stays,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an all-kill format. But I like this style a little bit better. That ensures that more players play, and you see more variety
Yeah, and
in
especially
play
that,
style.
yeah, especially so that everyone can play. All right, so we are gonna wait for the second map to get set up.
Yeah, so what do you think happened with RJ scouting there?
I think he didn't like think about the six links opener to cancel his CC, so he was kind of caught off guard with that Reaper in the middle of the map and the Marine
Do
getting
you
like.
think it just didn't click in his head, or
Yeah, yeah, I feel like the timing, like he wasn't sure about the timing, since he didn't see the links, so he felt pretty secure to move out with his Reaper. But Warren did like go the whole way around and going up the ramp,
yeah,
so that kind of like the mind game a little bit, and it did work in favor of Warren there.
yeah,
And after that, it was basically catching up because I feel like opening mutas, you stress like you said the multitasking, but you stress also it's harder to take the third base. You know, with roaches they're slow, like you can move out and you're not scared about having to defend your main and natural at the same time. But
yeah,
when you have mutas, either you spend a lot of resources on turrets, which is not the best idea in my opinion. Um, but in a sense, you cannot run around with your marines, you know.
yeah. Definitely like forces basically like turrets being put up. They in the back of their mind are always thinking about like they can be hit from anywhere. So it really kind of gets in their mind more than anything
Yeah.
and affects their gameplay in different ways. But we saw two CC cancels there,
Hmm.
and he wasn't going for like a committed push there in the beginning. I don't think we saw like a lack of barracks and like factories there. So I think he in his mind wanted to go up to three base the whole time. So
Hmm.
that definitely screwed up his build in general there. But um, yeah, I don't know. Like maybe that's the difference between like grandmaster and like master to some extent. Like if you see the timing on that natural, and you know like hey this should be like halfway done. Why is this only now starting? And then you see the early pool already done. Like it should click in your head like okay he's making early speedlings. I should make this on the high ground, or I should keep my Reaper at home.
Hmm.
Wait to build that reactor. So he made kind of like three errors there, and that really kind of snowballed to the amount of damage that it got done. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough way to lose there.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I like Zerg going mutas now because like you're kind of playing like when we have problem as Zerg with multi-prong drop and like dropping into the higher ground, lower ground, like into the main, and you have to run back and forth. And having mutas, I feel like it's the same way we have like Terran have to split their unit, which they are kind of better because they've been playing like TVT for a lot of time. So, but you stress a new style of Zerg that with Roach Ravager you don't have basically.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna have a ZVZ here on Runes of Ceres. Not too many like four-player maps on the new map pool.
Hmm.
So playing this map, Zerg versus Zerg, there's some unpredictable like aspects to it. You don't know exactly where your opponent is. You're kind of guessing on build order, and that 13-13 or 14-14 can be really powerful in this kind of map. Um, But just to introduce our players here, spawning on the top right in the blue trunks, representing Noob Training Grounds, the Zerg player Nova X.
And spawning on the bottom right, we have the Red Zerg representing PSISTM Academy, Freedom. Alright, so both players are not going for an aggressive opener. They have both their expansion down.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of weirdness to Freedom's build. Just the way it happened, like the double extractor trick, Overlord into expansion. It just was a little bit off, but maybe that's the way he does it. Not going to really affect this too much. Novax is just a little bit ahead. Basically on droning, but the pull is going to be a little bit sooner here for Freedom, so not too much of variance there. Both players knows exactly what's going on from the other player. Looks like that unpredictable factor of it is going to be taken out in this game.
Yeah, but actually the build from Freedom is a really safer build. Then let's say if you go, like you have the advantage of having the pull faster and the hatch faster. So that build is a little bit unusual, but I know that we talk with Zesty about it, and that build is pretty strong because if you want to defend a 14-14, you will have the pull faster, and if you want to switch into a macro game, then your hatch is also faster. The only thing you're lacking is a little bit of drones in the beginning, but it should level up, level out after that.
Yeah. See a Baneling Nest coming down here for Freedom, or Novax and Freedom at the same time, basically, so. Looks like they're going to be keeping in gas, 3 in gas. Both are starting to drone up now, so maybe just feeling like they want to be safe here, not take any chances. Skipping that Baneling Nest.
Yeah, either that or they want to go aggressive.
But good denial of basically scouting there for Novax, not letting the Zerglings up the ramp here to see the Baneling Nest. So based on the positioning of both Baneling Nests, maybe you're right. Maybe they want to go for aggression there. Sometimes they put it in the natural to kind of show it off to their opponent, saying, "Hey, you know, I've got Banelings. Don't like try to swell Lings versus me." Or to help the Queen really get a position there against Lings. So maybe both players just trying to be defensive here. Maybe just trying to show aggression. Looks like Novax is going to go for that third base though.
And Freedom also went for the third base, a hidden gold third base.
Yeah, very unusual positioning. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I know, like you remember in Huts in that map with the lava, where it was actually in at least in my build, like you were going for like the hidden gold base.
Well, we're gonna have a ton of Lings here moving in for Novax. He has a couple Banelings here that might get some good shots.
Oh,
two
nice shots!
Great
Yeah.
shots go down there for Novax. He's already, trading so well in this game right now. If we look at the economy, it's virtually even at this point. So it's all going to come down to these trades. Both players massing up Lings and Banelings here. So not so great trades there for Nova. Definitely not as good as the first one, but oh, good bait there with the Lings there to waste one of the Banelings there from Freedom.
So Freedom is running out of Banes. He doesn't have Banes anymore. Only Lings in production.
Yeah, they're even on Lings right now, but there's so much more in production here from Freedom. So if he can just, minimize the losses here from maybe these Banelings, I think he should be in an okay spot.
And his Banes are done, so 30 Lings in production though for Nova.
Yeah, decent shot there too, but we see one Queen going down here for Freedom, so definitely losing that Queen early on is going to be very critical in this Ling Bane war. You need Larva for these Ling battles. But both players going into droning. Freedom maybe going into a little bit more aggression while droning, so we should see some more aggression. Ling count is 33 to 18 in favor of Novax at this time. But 14 more lings are in production here for Freedom. Roach Warren's going to be dropped down here for the Blue Zerg player. Looks like he wants to get more to that transition. Possibly go for an all-in here. We'll have to see.
And his Freedom is not mining yet from his gold base, so that gold base is not giving him any advantage yet. But it did win unscouted, so if he can saturate it, it's going to be a big bonus for him.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult though because you can't really transfer.
Mm-hmm.
So every drone that has to be mining there has to really come from that base though.
Yeah, and
decent
the
trades.
and the reinforcement also.
Yeah.
But for yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say if that if they do see a little bit weird basically spawning or rallying from that side of the map, he might be more inclined to check there. In which case it's very exposed. So it is more of a gamble, but the reward is a little bit better. It also gives a lot of misinformation. Knowing that your opponent doesn't have a third base at the natural or the third spot there, that can be a little bit misleading.
And while that happened, Nova did trade pretty well for Banes for a lot of links from Freedom, and he's gonna move up the ramp.
Yeah, there's nothing here in the base of Freedom. Looks like the Lings are going to be retreating home from the other side for Freedom. He's going to try and head home and defend. Meanwhile, there's going to be a lot of drones falling here in the main and in the natural. Queens are going to go down as well. So this looks like it's the end of Freedom. More Banelings being morphed in here offensively in his opponent's base. And I think it's just the end, though.
Yeah, unless he gets like the most the best Bane hits detonation, he can buy a little bit of time, but.
Sandwiches the drones in here. There's just nothing left. GG's going to have to be typed out here. No gold base is going to save you whenever you're just on so few drones. So great play there from Novax to really hit a sharp timing.
So the income for Freedom is only 300 right now against 1300 for Nova. Nova did clean out the whole army of Freedom here.
Yeah, and he didn't really need roaches. Like, he had the roach horn down a little bit sooner than his opponent, but not really using it, so maybe just making it in case his opponent was going for roach timing himself, but nevertheless, Freedom's going to be GGing out of this game shortly. Maybe the only reason he hasn't is because he has 5 drones at the gold base, but I think this is insurmountable.
Yeah.
He's probably thinking like, oh, where's your spire at? Where's your hidden base? Like, the only reason why a player wouldn't GG out is probably like some weird spire player or something, right?
Yeah. Like, let's say you have 20 mirrors that are gonna pop, or you have a hidden base, or 2 hidden base. Right now, he only has 1 though, so Nova is not paying attention to that. I don't think he can come back though, but
yeah, I mean, without a layer, like the only way you come back is basically if you like maintain drones or you have like 20 mutilas popping, but he didn't even have a layer there, so
yeah.
Don't really know what his plan is. He's gonna lose his spawning pool, he's gonna lose his roach warren, and yeah, you have a gold base with 10 workers, but you don't have any production capability. So New Training Ground is gonna pick up their first win in this series, tying it up 1-1, and it's gonna send us right into our next map.
And now Nova should know that there is a hidden base. He ran around his links, and he did scout the gold base now.
Yeah, kind of maybe feeling a little bit, you know, worried. I know, like, if you play Terran, you can, like, try to find a base, and here they are with, like, 1,000 units there with, like, 4 or 5 barracks, so...
Yeah, exactly.
With Zerg, that's not necessarily the case, but, yeah. I think it was just one player went full on aggression. The other player lost that queen early, you know, didn't have the production that he needed. And I feel like that kind of snowballed out of control.
Yeah. I feel like the strategy is good, but if you face like all-in kind of or really big aggression from links, he didn't have reinforcement basically. His reinforcement, if you want to keep that base hidden, like we said, you cannot reinforce into that, and while Nova is sending all his links to the other side of the map, he can only produce on 2 hatches versus 3 for Nova.
Yeah, and I didn't see any links coming out of that gold base either. Like, I don't know if he didn't have that hotkey just because he wanted to separately make drones there and not rally them here. But if that's the case, like he lost out on a whole base of production.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that was really like they were on even drone counts the whole game basically until the end.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it really came down to losing that queen and just trades. The trades were so much better there for Nova in the early game, and really just started accumulating the lings, and that's really all it takes in ZVZ, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that play could have worked if Nova did go like for a more macro game. Um, Freedom will have time to like build a couple of roaches and then be safer, you know?
Yeah.
Because he did have a lot
Not
of
as larva intensive.
yeah, and he did have a lot of Banes, so he did delay the initial attack of Nova. But after that, Nova kept going with Lings, and I think that's the downfall of that build having the hidden base.
Yeah. All right.
So the next map's gonna be Runes of Endymion, and it's gonna be Zergway versus Imoino.
Zerg Wave is Zerg. I'm taking it.
Yeah, I think I saw him play in a couple of events. Like he does play in not a lot of events, but yeah, he's there.
All right. So it's gonna be a TVZ, our second of the day, and for this map, I'm seeing a variety of play basically, and I'm gonna say it's pretty even for the most part.
Hmm.
I feel like Terran might have a slight advantage if they want to go super turtly. They have the means to. They have a lot of different cliff faces, rocks to take down. But I feel overall it's pretty even.
Yeah, and Blizzard didn't do any changes to Runes of Endymion, right?
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
But I saw some cheeky play from Zerg players versus Terrans, so Night Swarms are quite popular. Early pulls, things like that. Or just some sort of all-in. So I've seen mostly like some sort of cheese, but I've also seen Terran go proxy racks too. So
Yeah.
it's actually funny. I was watching Game Time. He's like a GM Zerg player.
Hmm.
I was watching his stream, and he was like, "Oh, I really like this map. It's macro oriented, yada yada yada." And then like a minute later, he got proxy racks and like 15 Marines were in his base. And we're laughing at him for that, but yeah. And I've seen a Villo play on that map as Zerg. He'll do split maps versus mech. So
Okay.
I've seen a variety of games in this map.
Mhm.
How about you?
Yeah. Usually, like you see, like either Alien from Terran, or even the proxy at the like at the third base position.
Hmm.
But yeah, I feel that that map is yeah, it's kind of balanced. I mean, you're not too exposed to early aggression, like like normal aggression, and you're not like unfavorable for Zerg, let's say, because you have the other pathway. So
Yeah.
a pretty
Yeah.
rounded map. Like interesting since you have the rocks and everything, but I don't feel like it's like kind of arena where it's way too creative, you know?
Yeah, I think having two sets of rock, or basically three sets of rocks,
Mm-hmm.
definitely opens up the possibility of more choice in the matchup.
Yeah.
Opposed to other maps, but I think it plays out pretty standardly.
Mhm.
I've seen a couple Muta builds work, and Zergs actually take down the Terran's rocks.
Yeah.
That delays any like two base push, any Hellion aggression, things like that. While your Mutalists easily can access their base, so
Mm-hmm.
we'll see what the choice is going to be.
And usually that's what, like what I like to do if I do have I go unscouted, my lings are going for their rocks, and then either I take down my rocks or but yeah, it gives you like the double layer, and it's making them want to drop because they're I'm not gonna take down the rocks, I'll go drop, and you have mutas, right? So yeah, for Nova asking what map they changed. They did change Invader. I'm not sure if you noticed in the game, but the third base is not connected or horizontally with the other side. So now the third base is kind of an island with two two ramp there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. So the maps they changed apart from Frozen. I think Invader, they got rid of the bridge leading to the third base.
Yeah.
Which was a peculiar change because the creator of the map was kind of saying like that's not really the problem,
Hmm.
but it's quote to help the horizontal spawns. They changed Invader's like natural choke. I think they made it closer to the natural and made it a little bit more choky.
Yeah.
But I'm not positive about that. And then I think
They,
KCK they got rid of the main rocks there. So
yeah, and they make the ramp smaller also.
yeah, so it's a little bit easier for non-Zerg races. But
Hmm.
jumping in here to Ruins of Vendion, spawning in the bottom left in the green trunks, representing Storm Gaming, it's Zerg Wave.
And spawning on the bottom right, we have the red Terran representing new training ground Imoino. All right,
Or Lemueno.
Lemuano.
Lemueno. Yeah, Imoino is going to be our name because we rarely call people by their correct name, so we're going to keep that tradition alive. Looks like Zergwave sent over a scout, seeing exactly what his opponent was doing, maybe fearing, that proxy racks or something, but
Hmm.
looks like everything looks standard. Gonna go with the patch gas pool here for Zergwave.
And for Imoino, it's going for the Reaper.
Yeah, I feel like Zergwave, since he's GM, obviously wants to minimize risk, maybe just go for a standard game,
Hmm.
not necessarily cheesing to win, so maybe putting the burden on Emuino here to, kill him early or do some cheese of his own, so.
Yeah.
Everything looking so standard, though. We'll see if he continues to mine gas Zergwave, because that kind of hints more towards aggression, but we'll see.
He did pull out two drones, so only one drone remaining on gas.
Okay, so probably just going more macro. Imoino kind of sent his pathing up strange up here to the third, maybe fearing like a proxy, hatchery, something like that.
Hmm.
Both players playing very safe.
And the first Reaper got in. Lanes were out, denying him to go to have any scouting basically. Oh, but those lings are getting pretty low health.
Yeah,
One-
Queen's a little bit late to pop out, but she's out now. Shouldn't lose any more lings at this point, but
But keeping that Reaper is nice because you can delay the third expansion for a little bit.
yeah, definitely. Looks like we have a factory follow-up here. That's going to be finishing up reactor on the barracks, and he's going to go straight into marine production. Meanwhile, the Zerg hasn't really gone for a third base this time.
Hmm.
Yeah, the speed should be finishing up here. He can, zone out that Reaper and get that third base up pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything looking okay at this point. Anything staying out to you?
And the Reaper gets cleaned out, so no more scouting easily for Imoino here.
Yeah. And it looks like tank production starting. So tank, another barracks, and a starport. Definitely looking to be aggressive here as opposed to economic. Zergwave's going to be taking down the rocks. Yeah, I've seen this quite a bit. I thought Zerg would kind of want to, keep like the avenues open, but I see more and more Zergs going macro and then just closing off the Terran's route. So kind of interesting to see that.
Because that way you can make sure that you're not caught off guard with a head and run by or a frontal push with tanks.
Yeah.
And
But
after that, if you have roaches or mutas, opening up the rocks again, it's not too long, you know.
yeah, Terran I think benefits from having more rocks. Like KCK has like more closed off positions, and
Hmm.
they can kind of abuse that with drops, and it's very linear. So I can see both positions being good or bad for Zerg. But he's going to go straight into that Roach Horn. Layer's just now finishing up. Looks like he might be starting Roach speed here. But committing to a little bit of Roaches. So we have yet to see a fourth base or any evolution chambers here. Or any secondary tech like a Spire. But Tanker Drop is going to be coming in here trying to clean up some creep, but there's not really too much to clean up. And with those lings being in place here, it's not going to be really do too much.
Hmm. And road speed is not started yet for Zergwave.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a safety Roach Horn. Maybe he's going to go into like a different later game composition, but not really committing too much. So I'm going to be interested to see what Zergwave goes into here. So he's at that point where he kind of needs to make a decision what he's going to go down, and it is going to be Roach Speed. Okay, so double upgrade Roach Speed. He's going to commit to that Roach Ravager position here. Most likely going to be ranged upgrades. And meanwhile, Imawino is still not on a third CC, so looks like he's just going to be going for that two-base push we see more often on these new maps.
Hmm. And actually, that's gonna be I think a nice timing, but Zergwave didn't overdrone.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
stopped droning his third base.
Yeah, that's a great point there, Zane, because I can't tell you how many times I've just made like 5 or 10 too many drones, and
Hmm.
it just being too much to deal with. But Zergwave has a changeling with this army. It knows exact tank count, marine count, where he's looking to go, and I don't think he realizes the rocks are down because he's kind of bunching up in the corner. So
Yeah.
he's like, oh wait a minute, I can't do that. So that's going to delay him quite a bit actually. So that's a good decision there from Zergwave. He's not starting double upgrades yet. Mistakes you can make as Zerg is going too far into upgrades and lose to a committed push.
Yeah.
Or over droning, and I don't think he's committing too much to attacker upgrades, and he's not over droning, so he should be more than okay.
Yeah, and he does have his over on top of that third CC. So knowing that, like he's okay, I'll take down the rocks to make sure I have the most open path and not like get caught off guard with those tank drop behind those rock, and he can good
What
also.
third CC?
I'm saying he's seeing that Imoino doesn't
there's
have
a lack of, okay.
lack of 30 CC.
All right, so he's going to go in here. He's going to get some critical bios down, then miss all the bio. The bio are, being drawn into the Roach Ravager there, and they can't take that fight. These tanks will go down if they're not microed properly, and this should be the end of this push here.
I actually did clean up a lot of from Imoino. Imoino doesn't have that much at home, and Zergwave's gonna push into that natural. One tank is gonna be siege up, so those roaches will take damage walking up.
Yeah, critical bios should do a good job here at forcing the lift so they're not getting their DPS down. And Zerg's kind of dwindling. Reinforcements are kind of far away, but at the same time, Terran doesn't have very much at all. He has 20 army supply, so this is all got to be like perfect micro here for Imawino to survive.
Yeah, and he did lose all his tanks, and he's reinforcing only 5 marine at a time. GG is called, and PSISTM is gonna take second win in that series.
Yeah, pretty convincing win there. He knew exactly when the push out was coming. I really attribute his win probably to just scouting in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't overdrone. He didn't commit too much to upgrades or tech, and played very safe. So good scouting on the part of Zergwave.
Yeah. So the series is 2-1 in favor of PSISTM Academy. They did win on Invader and Runes of Endian, and New Training Ground did win on Rune of Ceres, bringing us to the fourth game that's going to be on Lyrilac Crest. It's going to be Sugar versus Night Clone.
Are you in the party?
I didn't know they had a party.
I don't know that they do either. I'm just, I was like lobby host there, and then I'm like by myself like after the game, so I was just wondering.
Oh no, they don't have a party. So Night Clone's gonna invite everyone. I'm pretty sure he's gonna set up everything. And meanwhile, we are waiting. All right, yeah. So if you guys like the stream, we are probably gonna cast a lot of Alpha League for New Training Ground. So if you guys like the stream, can put down a follow. That would be appreciated, and you guys will have the link for the next clan war.
All right, who's up next?
It's gonna be Night Clone versus Sugar.
Sugar, you already said that. Okay. Sugar is the caster for PSISTM.
Yeah.
During this match, so I don't know if exactly he'll be like doing first person or what he'll be up to, but
Mm-hmm.
we should see a pretty good game here. Looks like he's a Grandmaster. And he is a Terran. So it should be a interesting TVT.
Mm-hmm.
This Terran versus Terran rate is 60% with 40 games played, so a decent sample size.
Yeah.
Alright. Do you think Nyklon has a good chance here?
Yeah, I mean, GM is based on consistency, right? But it doesn't mean that Master cannot beat a GM. I feel like if Sugar do some mistakes, or Nightclone does have a pretty good build, or hitting a sharp timing, he could definitely win. And we know that Nightclone is pretty solid, but we'll see if he can win that game. Do you think it's gonna be more macro, or we will see like more aggression coming from either Nightclone or Sugar?
What map is it on?
It's gonna be on Layerlac
Littlerock Crest.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say probably aggression. I'm not exactly sure about TVT macro. I always feel like you're just massing up tanks, Marines, medevacs, and going for a push at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Some do get to like 3 bases, obviously, but rarely do I see like mass like Liberator or like maxed out pushes. Like they certainly happen, but of the games I've watched, they usually end before that point. So
Yeah.
But we'll see. Nightclone didn't seem like the very aggressive type, so I don't know. Nightclone's more of a Archon player as well, so I don't think he has like the amount of games that perhaps Sugar does. So while he's really strong, I don't know if he's in his like best practice form. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see.
And from what I'm seeing, also Sugar seems to be his first GM, at least on that account. So I'm not sure if he was always GM and having other accounts, but on that account is the first time he's GM, or at least that I'm seeing. Obviously, we don't see the beta, so you could be like Dalek and be 10 times GM, and it's not registering since it was only in beta.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Nightclone's eating right now, so he should be back in a couple minutes, so stick with us, guys.
Alright, so if nobody is gonna do that, like, I guess we can create the lobby.
I think he's back.
Oh, he's back? Oh, yeah, he's back. Okay, so we'll let Nightclone create the lobby.
Do you think he was eating some sugar? Or sugar was part of his meal?
That would be funny.
Could be symbolic here.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty then. I don't know that I've seen too many TVTs on Littlerock Crest. We really started like casting a lot in I don't know, while the new map or while the last season was kind of ending.
Yeah.
So a lot of our matches have been on these new maps, but also a map that a lot of Terrans had vetoed anyways, so
Yeah, it
not
was.
too many.
Yeah, it was pretty not unusual, but a little bit rarer that we saw like TVT, especially on Lyria Crest. Because in how we do Clan Wars, like it's loser's choice, so it's rare that the Terran's gonna choose Lyria Crest. But we saw a couple TVT, but from lower league, so it will be interesting and on how they're gonna play it, especially since Lyria Crest been out of the map pool.
Yeah. I think everybody's. It's like riding a bike. Once you've played that many times on Lurelac Crest, I don't think you forget it. Like,
No, no,
it's in the map pool for like 10 years, so.
no, that's true, but like the new builds or the builds that are working, let's say on the newer map, might work really better on Lyria Crest or not at all, you know?
Yeah. And Lurelac's kind of unlike the other maps, the new
Mhm.
maps, in that it's really kind of exposed, and they kind of did away with it, kind of didn't. But like I said, everybody should be well aware of how to play on that map. So we should see. I don't know. I would say two base aggression. Not really like playing too defensive. I think you want to take advantage of the fact that it's pretty wide open, but we shall see.
Oh, Nightbot did actually warn Cine to stop spamming. I didn't know that. We didn't set up Nightbot yet, so it might cut out some stuff that we don't want to. So let us know if they do some weird stuff. Like obviously, I'll remove that stop spamming symbols.
All right, another short delay, but we should be jumping into this next game here any minute now. Nightclone is
Washing
getting
his
pumped
hand.
up. He's getting mentally prepared here.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, this is ace. It is the ace match kind of. It's match point.
Yeah.
If he loses here, his team loses, so he's getting mentally prepared, let's say. All right, players are ready. We're going to be starting up this game. And yeah, go out, tweet about us, tell your friends. Go on all your social media. No, this isn't GSL. Don't listen to me. I feel like Brandon Valdez would say that. No, but thanks everybody for tuning in here. We should have a really good TVT here. GM versus Masters, though. Experience versus, I don't know, a player that does mainly Archon here. So we'll see if that makes a difference. But spawning on the top left of Lurelac Crest in the red trunks, representing size form, Terran player Sugar.
Invincible.
And a pause is called. Sugar is lagging, I guess, because he might be streaming, so he's gonna stop the stream.
Yeah.
Oh, we cannot speak. We are not referee.
Yeah, I think Nightclone knows our stream though.
And we'll have our first host ever from Sugar.
All right. Yeah, it was a little bit of difficulty there, but shouldn't take too long there to host.
Yeah. All right. So cross position on Lyria Crest.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be able to abuse the positioning on like a map like Dust Towers, like that back little area there. If they can really abuse that with drops.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Alright, so Sugar did host us, so the game should start really soon. Nightclone is gonna finish his food.
Yeah, I don't know. I think cross positions too like opens yourself up to more mistakes.
Yeah.
Just because we've seen a lot of players be caught out of position, and we know TVT is more about positioning. So
Mm-hmm.
if players are out on a bigger map, and it's not like one main attack path like vertical or horizontal spawns, um, you leave yourself open to more base trades, more counterattack and stuff like that. There's not one predictable angle. There's a multitude that you have to defend from.
Mm-hmm. And even multi-prong drops or attack. So
Yeah, and the third base isn't exactly that close to the second base too, so there's a little bit of distance there that can be abused. We should see a pretty good game here. I like cross spawns better than vertical. I think it'd be a better game.
Yeah.
Aggression might not be um, as common as let's say vertical spawns.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So Sugar is ready. Nightclone will call 30 seconds to get ready himself. And we should have that fourth game started really soon.
I don't think we've ever been interrupted mid introduction.
No. But it's pretty nice that he caught his lag early on in the game. That could have been terrible.
All right, guys, we are jumping back in this game. Sorry for the delay.
And we have spawning on the bottom right, representing new training ground, the Blue Terran Nightclone. Alright, so same opener. We don't see any SCV around the map. So no shenanigans should go, at least yet. Sugar is going to be the first to move out with his SCV to get the first scout. And Nightclone is moving out also.
I don't know. I think both players are not in the mentality to kind of like proxy reaper or anything like that, just because Nightclone's kind of like on his last leg here. He can't really lose, or his team loses. And likewise, Sugar is probably feeling like he's the GM player. He doesn't have to do anything risky.
Yeah.
So I'm not really too surprised, but looks like Sugar Scout should come in a little bit early, but not really going to learn too much just yet. Nightclone's going for the expansion, while Sugar's going for the factory.
So Nightclone is gonna favor a more economic build, and I'm not sure about Sugar. Either if he's gonna go for early aggression or it's gonna just to be safer and have tanks out faster.
Yeah, second Reaper started up from him, so with a factory with a second Reaper here, he might just want to get map control from the start. Perhaps continue that aggression, knowing that his opponent's going for that natural. He might be a little bit more exposed. But good shot already there from Nightclone. He looks like he's going to be able to pick off this Reaper. Yeah, I don't really see it escaping.
He's gonna be able. Oh, okay. I thought he was going up the ramp to have a little bit of scouting, but having that low health, he's gonna retreat, regenerate his energy, and come back probably a little bit later.
Just good micro there from Sugar. Second Reaper is going to be joining. Nightclone does see the second production building up here, the starport, and he does see more aggressive units out, so he should be more than prepared here with that bunker. But
And he saw the Hellion also. coming out of the factory.
Yeah, it's going to be another Hellion on top of that, so Reaper Hellion is going to be the choice here to try and get his work done. He's going to pick off a Marine, but he's going to lose a Reaper for that, so a little bit costly there for Sugar.
But the first Hellions is there. The bunker is going to be delayed, so
Wow,
that bunker is not finished.
Great call there, but he loses a Hellion and almost... Oh, he does lose the second Reaper there, so... One Reaper and one Hellion remain for Sugar. That's all he has at this point. And if you think about it, the CC is so much later that he kind of wanted to do some economic damage here.
Mm-hmm. And the bunker is finished for a Nightclone, so I feel like Nightclone is in a good position. He's mining from his natural. He does have the same structure, but yeah, and the CC is building right now for Sugar on the higher ground.
Yeah, we see Hellions and a Viking coming out here for Nightclone, but one worker going to be picked off. Well, no, it survives actually. For now, but decent harassment down.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, more minerals have been lost here from Sugar, and he's really at the point where he wants to be, being more cost effective with his units because he has, the more aggressive, the more early army. So good defense there from Nightclone so far.
Yeah, and Nightclone is mining a lot more. He does have 2 mules, but Sugar is not letting his
use a supply,
CC yet.
Rescue supply drop.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Sugar's going to be going into that cloak, but Nightclone already has a turret in each base and on the production, so he is more than okay.
And Sugar's gonna take down his third CC on the spot.
On the low ground there, yeah.
Yeah, so he's gonna try to come back into that economic game.
Alright, so I like the fact that Nightclone's getting the earlier tanks out.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like the most important part of TBT is just the medevac count and the tank count. Regardless of like how well you are microing it, but I do feel like those two units are really powerful as far as getting the position down, so
yeah,
we'll see if that makes a difference here.
And Sugar's gonna move in with his cloak Banshee. But Nightclone does have a good placement of turrets. That Banshee is gonna do a little bit of damage, and is gonna delay that CC and that barrack, but not killing any workers, so it's not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
And Nightclone is putting down more barracks. Meanwhile, Sugar is trying to get back up into the SCV count, because right now it's 41 worker for Nightclone and 32 for Sugar.
Yeah, that orbital finishing up here should help him out in the economy, like being able to produce more workers and as far as the extra milling there. So economy is a little bit closer than it might look on paper.
Yeah. And Sugar did pick up the SCV building, the CC again, so that CC got delayed twice, but now that Banshee doesn't have energy anymore and it should be picked off by those Vikings.
Yeah, I'm liking Sugar's position here more and more. He's up in army, he's got that third CC already on position here. Nightclone still has to morph into a orbital and fly to position, so the only thing maybe lacking here for Sugar is his production, which Nightclone's getting up nicely, so we should see that army supply really taking a skyrocket here shortly.
Yeah, and Sugar is actually skyrocketing into their resources. He got the upper hand right now compared to Nightclone.
Alright, if we take a look at the tank count, currently it is 4-3 in favor of Sugar. But one's going to be finishing up here shortly for Nightclone, so pretty much the same as far as that goes. Medevacs are being produced 2 at a time here for Sugar, so yeah, I would say Nightclone has the advantage as far as medevacs at this point, but the Banshee should come in handy as far as harassment or basically picking off tanks and marines later on. So
and with those Banshees, he's actually stressing out multitasking from Nightclone, which is good, you know. Like those Banshee are doing not too much damage, but are annoying and can create a lot of mistakes from Nightclone if he does have to multitask a lot. And yeah, Nightclone was behind in army, but like he stopped. He didn't stop, but with the structure he has, his army is in favor right now. He has
Well, he has a
41
big
army
supply
versus
block here.
44.
He had like a 15-20 second supply block at 101 supply, so
Actually, both players are supplied back at 101.
5 supply depots coming in there for Sugar. That's kind of funny.
And-
We do see him push out here for Sugar. It looks like he's going to be abusing that third position. He knows that base is up.
Mhm.
And we're going to have a drop moving up to the north side here for Nightclone at the same time.
The thing is, for Sugar, he doesn't have that much minivac, so like he couldn't drop those marines. So those marines will have to take down the rocks, which gonna open a new pathway.
Yeah, Vikings are going to pick off a Banshee here going into the other base too. Well, actually, they bypass it. Drops the cloak down. And I think Nightclone's aware of the push out now. He sees these units in the middle of the map, and it's kind of rare for a tank and a couple Marines to be alone. So
And Nightclone did move his tanks, and Sugar is pressuring that third base, actually targeting it, and it might go down.
yeah, it looks like he's going to be stimming on top of the workers and trying to get those. It does a good job already killing a bunch of workers here. Tanks are trying their best here to hold this position down while the bio moves into spot here, but Sugar's quick to pull that back.
But Nightclone right now does have the upper hand in the army, and his +1, not carapace, but
Shields,
shield.
armor.
Yeah, armor. It's gonna be done soon.
So we take the units lost now. Nightclone's lost 2,500 compared to Sugar's 2,200. So not a huge difference, but we just see basically that drop being more effective in the fact that Nightclone really wasn't able to do his own drop. So I felt like that's what Sugar needed to do there, take out 10 or 12 workers, and did a good job of that.
Yeah, and the Banshee did scout Nightclone moving out, so Sugar is gonna meet him at the middle of the map, and we should see the big engagement here.
Okay, both players getting in position here. The army is in favor of Nightclone. Looks like he just has more tanks over here as well. 2 tanks being kept at home for Sugar, just maybe in case it drops.
Yeah, but we see here Nightclone is using the Viking in his favor to have better vision.
He has 11 medevacs. 11 medevacs to just the 2 for Sugar. So he's really going to be able to position his tanks a lot better.
But those Marine taking a lot of hits there.
Yeah, he doesn't have vision unless he moves those Vikings up, which we see here. Kind of risky, but yeah, he's going to lose them immediately. A little mistake there for Nightclone.
But he does have a good tank count, and the big engagement is going on. Sugar will lose those 4 tanks.
Great engagement there for Nightclone. It's exactly what he needed to get back in this game. Still down in economy, but he pulls even further ahead in army.
And in terms of upgrade, he does have the advantage of having the +1 vehicle, and he's gonna have +2s finishing soon, while Sugar just starting his +2.
Yeah, Nightclone being, I guess, more on top of his macro there, starting an extra CC as well. I'm going to be dropping that in position later on, but we have a big engagement here. Looks like Sugar's taking the better engagement here while Nightclone was getting set up and loses a ton of army there. Yeah, maybe he just overextended there.
Yeah,
just went right into the jaws of Sugar's forces.
yeah, I think Sugar did have a better tank count, so while Nightclone didn't move in, he was taking a lot of shots there. And behind that, Sugar is gonna push, and he does have 96 army versus 16 right now, so he does have the better army composition. And Nightclone doesn't have that much tanks anymore. Only 1 tank left, I think.
Yeah, he does have the upgrade lead on that bio, but really, if you're facing that many tanks, the bio's not really going to get a chance to get on top of it right away. So I don't know. I think it's looking better and better for Sugar as time goes on. That
Yeah.
1 engagement really kind of just sealed it.
But right now it's gonna be Sugar that's gonna have to push up the ramp.
Mm-hmm.
But he's scanning and seeing the lack of tank here.
Bio's gonna try and get on top of that CC. He's kind of just trading Bio for that extra CC there, and that's a huge pickup there for Sugar. Just trading those few minerals.
Mm-hmm.
Nightclone coming, about to lag a little bit. Maybe that's affecting his game.
Yeah, I mean that's why he lost his army there.
Yeah.
But his tank count is going slowly back up, and Sugar is not pushing right now. So I'll try to get a good position here. But Nightclone does have the upper ground advantage here and already have his tank set up. And he's gonna roll 2 medivac to go for a drop.
Yeah, it's gonna be on the north side of the map, but he might need that because Sugar looks like he's gonna be pushing it here and trying to attack at this moment. So he's gonna come in and get a good positioning on this tanks. Tanks out of position here for Nightclone. All the bio being taken out. And GG's call.
And Sugar taking the Clan War for PSISTM Gaming.
Yeah, that one engagement, man. Nightclone was up like 30 army supply, but his tanks were a little bit too late to siege. His bio was caught without great vision, and he took massive losses there, especially in the tank count.
Yeah, he was in a really good position, but yeah, like you said, that last engagement or that engagement where he lost all his tank count and his bio army was pretty brutal.
Yeah, and we see PSISTM Gaming take the series there. 3-2. What was it? 1. I think the only win came from Nova.
Yeah. So
Then
3-1.
ZVZ. So yeah, a pretty interesting start to Alpha League. Kind of excited to see who Noob Training Grounds plays next, but thanks to everybody for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed our content. PSISTM looking pretty strong, as we saw. Like, their GM players aren't weak at all. Their only loss coming from their Masters player Freedom. So
Yeah, and they did win also against Rival Gaming and against us with a technical win.
yeah,
Alright guys, so we will be streaming a lot of new training ground Alpha League. So if you guys like the stream, you can put down a follow. And we'll see you soon, guys.
yeah. Thanks for tuning in.